Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about being in a rhythm and building momentum and how powerful that can be. Because I think that I think it just needs to be said. And it's not like it hasn't been talked about before, but I definitely am feeling called to talk about it right now. I'm looking for the dog. So, the best way that someone has explained the way momentum works and the way, momentum and being in a rhythm I'm talking about them as being simultaneous, not simultaneous, as being the same, being the same thing. So when you want to make a change, someone described this to me, or when you're trying to change your outlook or change your energy, any sort of change you want to consciously make in your life, they say it's kind of like turning a cruise ship around. So now, if obviously cruise ships are humongous. So if you imagine yourself and your energy like a cruise ship, and you are heading down this path, and then you decide, well, actually, I don't want to be down this path. I want to be going down this path. I want to make a turn. A cruise ship is not like a sports car. They just don't turn on a dime and continue going in the new direction. A cruise ship needs that time to make that turn, and it is a very slow process. If you have ever seen some of those crazy videos online, like of those big ships or a cruise ship crashing into a dock, or hitting other boats, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, don't they have steering? Like, how could this even happen? Well, it happens because the captain, I'm sorry, the dog wants to get out. The captain didn't estimate the amount of time and the amount of space that it would have taken to turn that boat around. And then by the time they do, it is too late. So, it is, because it's a very slow process. So like, this is your cruise ship and you want to make the turn, so then it's like slowly, and it's the same thing with our energy and changing our energy. So we need to keep that in mind and respect that, and just be aware of that, because sometimes I think that when we want to make a change and we want to make a turn, we want to be that sports car and we want to turn on a dime and then just be on our new route and in there. But it doesn't always work like that. But it works in a good way and in a bad way. So it is slow at first. It is hardest at first to start to make that turn. But once you start to make that turn, and once you get into that new path and into that new rhythm, it becomes much easier, because once the ship has made that turn and it is on its path, it's able to use that's when its full weight comes to its advantage, and it is more like turning, it's at a disadvantage. But when it is on the path that it wants to be in, it is as much more of an advantage. So if you ever found that when you're making a change, say you're dieting or you're exercising or you're trying to meditate, and you're like, gosh, why is it so hard at first? But then once I am into it a little bit, it becomes much, much easier. Well, that is why, because our energy, our bodies, our minds are more similar to a cruise ship than they are a sports car. And because the other thing is, the good thing, and you might be like, well, I'd rather be a sports car and turn on a dime. If you think about it though, once the sports car has made the turn and they are on their path, it is much easier to throw a sports car off of their path than it is a cruise ship. Say there is a cinder block in the way, a big cinder block, and a cruise ship would just plow right through that. A sports car might get wrecked if it hits a cinder block. you know, might, I don't know exactly, but maybe it would flip over. It would definitely be thrown off its path much, much easier than a cruise ship. Cruise ship just plow right through that and keep going. So we can use these things to our advantage, but we can only use them to our advantage if our awareness is brought to them. So that was the best analogy that I have ever heard of the power of momentum. And we need to harness the power of momentum. But the only way we can get to use that power of momentum is to make that turn first. We have to make that decision to want to make that change, and we have to commit enough to get us through the turn. But we can go through that turn knowing that once we create that momentum and get into that rhythm, that it will be much, much easier to stay on the new path. And that has been very helpful for me in the past, and that is going to be very helpful for me right now. And it is just a reminder. And for anyone that is hearing this for the first time, hopefully this will help to open your eyes. But if anyone who needed that reminder of how the power of momentum, and that momentum takes a while to build, but once momentum is built, it is pretty strong and pretty, you know, powerful. And don't get discouraged, because momentum does work both ways. It does work when you're in a momentum on a path that you don't want to be on, you know, and sometimes it can dictate what is being brought into your life. If you kind of feel like the hits keep on coming, you know, and things keep coming, like, yes, life has a reason for everything, but it might be to bring your attention to your momentum and be like, well, you know, if I need to pay attention to where my energetic momentum is right now. Where are my thoughts? Where are my feelings? What am I talking about? What am I speaking? What am I focusing on? All of those things create your momentum. So when you start to question where those things are in your life, you might be like, okay, well, my thoughts have been in the gutter a little bit. I have been doing nothing but complaining and talking smack, and you know, I haven't really been speaking the way that I like to talk, speaking in the positive, speaking as if my dreams exist right now. How have I been feeling? Well, because of all these things that have been happening in my life, I've been feeling kind of like not great. And it is okay. You don't have to be in a super happy high vibration all the time, but you need to be aware of if your feelings are bringing you down, because then you need to focus on how you can bring them back up, or you can at least bring them to a neutral place. All of those things create your momentum. So when you start to realize, oh, well, I could be doing a little bit better here, I could be doing a little bit better here, a little bit better here, and let me do those things so I can then change my momentum. I can turn this ship around and I can get back on the positivity track. Because that saying, when it rains it pours, isn't just for bad things, it's also for good things as well. It's just basically just saying, like, you know, sometimes when one bad thing happens, it kind of feels like one thing after another. Well, it's for good things too. When good things happen, sometimes one good thing happens right after another, and you just get this shower of amazing, amazing divine gifts, these blessings. So this is a Monday, it's being filmed on a Monday, so I just want to take that momentum through our week, through my week, to really put that into practice and to put that into use, and to understand that, because I feel like in some aspects of my life I am making that turn. So I want to keep making that turn so I get on that path and I can use my momentum for good. So that is our message for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you next time.